Late one night, 50 Cent went full nuclear on Jim Jones over the Let's Rap About It podcast, and it was savage. This wasn't some casual jab or clever line. This felt straight up personal. Some folks really believe 50 might be the most ruthless player, not just in hip-hop, but in the entire entertainment game. So here's the big question. Did Fifth go too far? And could this end up being one of the biggest L's Jimmy's ever had to swallow in his career? Now here's where it gets wild. Many say 50 was out of pocket, but others claim this was pure payback. Just days before, on Let's Rap About It, Jim Jones and his crew dissed G-Unit in a way that plenty saw as disrespectful. No sugarcoating it, it sounded insane. So 50 didn't just respond, he escalated. He went online and dropped surveillance footage showing Jim Jones getting evicted from the podcast studio like it was reality TV drama. And let me tell you, this whole situation got messy fast. The podcast is set up in the same building Fabulous once joked he'd buy if Jimmy didn't handle his rent. Well, looks like that rent never got handled. The footage is stamped February 19th, 2026, a Thursday, and even though it was late Friday night rolling into morning, 50 somehow had it almost instantly. That says everything. The landlord clearly passed it over, especially since 50 already had backdoor talks with him. Remember those voice notes Fifth posted months ago? Same energy. But this time, it's worse. We're not just hearing rumors, we're seeing Jim Jones trying to kick doors in real time. And there's audio too. You can hear folks in the clip saying he shut the lights off. That moment had people talking heavily. Crazy part? Many thought Jimmy would have handled this quietly by now. Instead, it drops online for the whole world to see. No filters, no edits, just raw footage, making the situation look wild. Then the landlord locked the doors, and that's when everything truly fell apart. And yeah, this is bad, like really bad.
He cut the lights off, not supposed to, you heard Jim? Huh? He cut the lights off. What's up? What happened? Yeah, I'm good. No, it's mine. It's my property. Alright? Gotta talk to folks about it.
The lights got cut. You can hear it crystal clear in the clip. Cut those lights off. That moment alone left people shaken. Then comes the banging and you hear Jim Jones yelling, "No, this is my property. You got a problem? Talk to me about it." That line, instant tension. But the landlord wasn't debating ownership, he was talking rent. From what's being said, the studio rent hadn't been paid. That's the real issue. So now everyone's asking, why would 50 Cent even post this? Some are like, where's he not in the booth? Why show footage instead of rapping? But let's be real, shots have been flying for years. Fifth isn't about to hop in a rap battle over this, everybody knows that. His style? Chess, not checkers. Every move in beef is a strategy, and 50 has been playing that game for a long time. It might not look pretty, but it's calculated. Now plenty are heated at 50 over the Lil' Kim stuff too. Some think he's just picking on her. But if you know the history, you know her ex had real issues with him. That tension didn't appear overnight. Go back to the Magic Stick era. She skipped the video shoot, and that wasn't random. There were serious behind-the-scenes conflicts involving someone known as World, a guy Fifth reportedly had beef with. Those scars never fully healed. So when people call 50 a bully, that's only half the story. History matters in this game. He doesn't move without reason, even if we don't see it. Same with this Jim Jones situation. It didn't just appear overnight. And to make it crazier, 50 didn't stop at posting footage. He dropped the actual eviction notice online, basically saying, in case you think this is fake, here's the paperwork. Receipts, no guessing, not gossip, straight documents for everyone to see. The notice lists IFC Management LLC and Joseph Jones with the East 133rd Street address in black and white. It clearly shows a 15-day notice of default, dated January 5th, 2026, expiring January 22nd, 2026, followed by a 5-day termination notice dated February 10th, 2026, expiring February 17th, just 2 days before the lockout on the 19th, a Thursday. That timeline perfectly matching the footage online.
And it gets heavier. The notice says the tenancy was terminated under the landlord's rights in the lease, including paragraph 17. It confirms the landlord re-entered and peacefully recovered possession. It even notes the tenant can coordinate retrieving property, but if anyone enters, changes locks, or brings a third party without permission, it could be treated as trespass with legal action. That's not rumors, that's official. The notice even instructs retrieval coordination through Rower Enterprises LLC. So yeah, the play-by-play is clear. That 15-day notice dated January 5th gave time to fix things, plenty of time, but apparently the rent wasn't handled. Now, the Let's Rap About It podcast reportedly can't even access that studio. That's a rough look. What makes it crazier? The timing. This exploded just days after the podcast made slick comments about G-Unit. No names, but clearly referencing the plane situation with Tony Yayo, Uncle Murder, and Ja Rule. Then 50 drops footage like it's nothing. Petty? Maybe. Strategic? Definitely. So what exactly sparked it on the podcast? Mayo asked, what if you pillow fight on the plane? That's when the heat started. The show tied those subs to the whole Ja Rule versus Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder situation. Online, fans said, oh, they almost fought on the plane, but nothing really happened. If anyone wanted action, they could have handled it on the ground like adults. The airport's right there in Queens. South Jamaica isn't far, and that area has deep ties to 50 and his circle. So when Jimmy and others say, why didn't they handle it off the plane, what they're really doing is throwing shade, implying Yayo and crew were soft. That's how 50 sees it. To him, it's disrespect wrapped in jokes. He watched that clip and basically said, oh really? Fun fact, the podcast episode dropped a day literally before my eviction footage hit. Then late at night, boom, the lockout video goes online for the world. Timing ain't random. It feels calculated. Fifth didn't stumble on that clip. He watches. Fifth is not clueless. He moves strategically, and yeah, petty when he feels disrespected.
Handle your family or your friends using your name for clout.
That shit happens anyway, man. People gonna go for clout over money nowadays, so you gotta expect it. There's some people that's close to you, some people you call friends, they be using your name for clout when you're not around. Like, you know how this game go, man. Clout is what everybody chasing. Don't think so?
I do.
It's like a combination, right? How about the person that you would call, right, as an emergency is using your name for clout?
That's heavy.
That's crazy.
Who do you call if you're on a plane
Depends on
and you run into niggas and it turns into a pillow fight? Who do you call in?
That's a good question.
Who do you call if you run into some of your opposition?
Your ops?
On a plane. How do you handle it?
Can't call nobody on the plane.
Until something happens.
No, but the plane didn't take off. Like, how do you handle it?
Oh, it's not in the air?
It's not in the air.
The charges could be a little less if it's not in the air.
Charges could be a little less
if it's not in the air.
Oh, so you taking the charge?
I'm just weighing different situations and things like that. You know what I mean?
Like
Nah, that's a federal charge.
That's a federal charge.
On that plane?
Sure.
If it's in the air or if you on the ground?
I don't know.
No, not necessarily.
He didn't have to fight at the.
But you wasn't on the plane.
He wasn't on the plane. It was airport, though, right?
Airport.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing?
It may not be. They might have
airport,
a.
It might be something different.
It might be something different.
Once you get on that plane.
I really don't know. I looked it up. It says that fighting on a plane is a federal charge, but is that fighting on a plane when it's in the air?
But let's check it out.
I've been banned from that
Google
same
that.
airline for not.
It's fighting on the plane and fighting in the airport. Two different things.
Right. Or does it mean, or is it different when you?
I think you
when the
could get
plane
it
is
on in the
air?
airport and you good.
I mean, I've been kicked off of flights, but I wasn't fighting.
So your ops
On
were
the plane.
37,000 to crash out.
You just can't get through it. You just got to do something. At least wait.
So you get off the plane,
Deboard the plane.
and then it could be a state thing.
Right. Then you can get with it.
Can you have
This looked like a direct response to that last podcast segment. Now, the same studio where Jim Jones and the crew were talking slick, reportedly under the landlord's control. Eviction notice out, doors locked, paperwork online. Even the company tied to the space got caught up in it. And 50? He didn't just post the footage, he turned it into a poll for the internet to debate. That's next level trolling. People seriously underestimate how he plays this game. So yeah, it felt like a low-key flex on G-Unit. That segment was clearly aimed at Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder, because let's be real, the tension is obvious. You can see the friction between the Let's Rap About It crew and the G-Unit side. They wanted that rap battle vibe, but Fifth isn't stepping in a booth for this. Instead, 50 flipped the script and made it public drama. No heat, no lights, no access to the studio at all, and it just kept escalating. Now, the studio space, locked up, hard reality. If that's the case, they might have to relocate fast, and finding a new spot overnight, not simple. That puts the podcast in a tight spot. And 50 didn't stop at posting footage and paperwork. He added a caption that pushed it even further. The way he framed it on Instagram had people talking heavily. The caption, just as bold as the video itself. He wrote, "Damn bro, this wouldn't happen if we were friends. Wanna be friends?" And tagged Let's Rap About It with a laughing tone. That's next level petty. When 50 moves like that, you already know it's strategic trolling. Some call it corny, others call it savage. Either way, it grabs attention fast. Fifth has always played the long game, and when he responds, it's rarely subtle. This is the same playbook he's been running for years. Critics are saying, how are you almost 50 and dealing with rent issues? That narrative is out there now. Jim Jones is a known name in hip-hop, so when paperwork and eviction footage hit, it's bound to look wild. Meanwhile, 50 isn't worried about rap battles. He's building business, expanding ventures in Shreveport, growing G-Unit, and working on major TV projects like Power. He's locked in on bigger moves. That's why this feels less about music and more about strategy.
Pillow fight.
That's the thing. That's the key.
Maybe not a physical, but
You can at least have a pillow fight.
pillow fight seems like it's legal.
Pillow or the assault?
Pillow fight not legal either?
Is that an assault charge if you get hit with a pillow?
I don't think that's a real
I don't know.
assault.
Shit, if you hit a nigga with water right now,
If you throw a pillow at a random like old white lady in first class, that might be assault.
Nah, you hit anybody white, you get assault.
He's making big business moves, while Jim Jones isn't exactly showing much growth right now. Wasn't that same studio supposed to be this huge creative hub for content creators? At first, that vision looked massive, but now it's basically shut down. That's a tough headline to carry. Meanwhile, 50 Cent stays active, strategic, and loud with every move. So the real question is, did Fifth go too far with all this back and forth involving Jim and the Let's Rap About It crew? Or was this energy earned after what went down in that last episode? Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, smash the like, crush that hype button, and share this video so the channel keeps growing. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, did they ask for this reaction or did 50 cross the line this time? This situation just keeps getting wilder, and I need to hear what you think. Thanks for rocking with the channel.
Appreciate it. No, listen, no worries. I know this is not your bill. You know what I mean? So that's what I said. So I'm fresh.
But now I know what.
Yeah.
What was controlling what? I mean,
We was here before.
Sorry, excuse me. Do we need an electrician or do we just call on it and they come out and return what they want?
You just gotta.
I was just told I don't need an electrician. I'm talking to you guys right now.
You let them know how this deal is.
We need to put in a new meter or we just need to put a new meter now?
we need it.
New meter.
A new meter needs to be in.
You're a new customer. You trust.
We're a new customer.
And whenever you're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Super Bowl 60? Are you ready for the excitement, the adrenaline? Braxton Cognac. What happened with the lights, man?
I could rent it. And I said, okay, fine. Right? He's been saying this for since October. And he keeps trying to build it, but he won't sign the lease. He's like, I don't like these terms. I want 6 months of build out and ridiculous bullshit. We also have a partnership agreement where half of what he's building now, his media, belongs to us. But he won't tell us how much he's making and doing all these things. So half of the content he's creating, if you want to buy that too, I'll sell you half the company. He's not a business. He's insane. To me, it's worth very little to nothing. But if it works out for you, I just throw that in as a sweetener. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is he signed a lease with me. right now he owes, I'm going to say in a short way, at least 80,000, if not 180,000. The monthly rent on the old lease.
I'll never have to film on, but what I'm trying to say is, I've been happy to be able to invest in myself. It's something that I know is going to help a lot of other people. I'm not building this facility for myself. Yes, it is a business move. That's why I invested in myself. But I'm building a facility for all creators and young ones that's trying to come up to be a creator or have a creative ability that they want to know how to double down on. It's like an excellent school for all the fly people, if you say so yourself. So, you know, I appreciate the promo. I love free promo. You know, I ain't gonna miss a beat. You did? It's cold in here.